Hello and welcome to a short little episode where I'm going to talk to you about March Stitchy Madness. Now this is a concept that came together from the Steel City Stitchers. If you aren't already following them, you can go check them out. And they are on YouTube as well as Instagram. They give you a bracket which looks like this. Now this one's filled in, but if you do go to Steel City Stitchers, they will give you a link to a bracket where you can print it out and fill it in yourself. And the bracket is what you're going to be filling in of things that are going to battle against each other, whips or starts. So with March Stitchy Madness, the idea is that you have a whip and a start, and you would stitch on the first day of March. You would stitch on the whip. On the second day of March, you would stitch on the start. And then by a vote, which will be on Instagram, you guys will choose which one of these will move forward into the next thing. So it's kind of like if your teams are playing against each other in basketball, hockey, and they're kind of playing a tournament, the winner of the first game goes on to the next game. So there's 4 different games to begin with. We'll call them games. Then the winners of those will go off against each other, and then there will be 2 winners at the end who will go for the final position to hopefully get something finished for the month of March. So with my bracket, I have chosen 4 knits and 4 stitches. The knits will go off against each other, the stitches will go against each other, and then hopefully I will have a knit and a stitch that I can work on to hopefully get finished by the end of March. So let me show you what I have planned, what I have pulled, and what are going to battle against each other. My first option is, these are knitting whips. These are my thrummed mittens. Remember in my last podcast I told you that I had to rip them back because I've gone kind of crazy with the thrums and I needed to restart it again. So whip number 1 is my thrum mittens. They are going to go up against the Belfield hat. Now let me show you a picture. This is from my Isolde Colorwork Club from last year. And this is the hat. So it's a colorwork hat. And I have the kit, but my pattern, I must have put it somewhere else for safekeeping. I don't have the pattern with me at the minute, but this was the kit that it came in. And just like the picture, I have the 3 colors, the 3 colors that are going to go with it to knit it. So that is going to go against my thrum mittens. So if you'd rather me knit the hat, then pick the hat. If you'd rather me knit the mittens, then pick the mittens. So that's the first battle. The second battle in my knitting is actually a knitting / crochet. So the first one, I guess I just have a picture. I didn't bring all my whips up because I want to do this fairly quickly. But my first whip is the Opal bunny that I started for my son. This is obviously the finished version. It's by Susan B. Anderson. And I'm knitting it with Knit Picks Felici for my son. So it's an orange color. So that's the first one. This is the battle of the knits versus the crochets. That one is going to go against my puff blanket that I started. So this is the crochet project. It's all in puff stitch, and I'm using Stylecraft Special DK and just a rainbow of different colors. So that one was for my niece, and I'd love to get back to that too. So the second battle is the Opal bunny versus the puff stitch blanket. So you get to vote on those as well. Now over to the stitching side. Again, I didn't bring everything up, but I do have pictures. So the first one is going to be Foggy Forest, which I have been working on for a while. You've seen that. I would love to get this finished, and I think that if this was one of my final projects, I could definitely get it finished before the end of the month. So that's the first one, Foggy Forest. It's going to go up against a whip that I've had for so long, and I don't really enjoy working on it much anymore, but I do want to get it finished. So the second one is deer meeting. And this is the one up here that I'm doing, but I've kind of cut it off a little bit. I'm not doing the whole thing. Actually, I think it's this way. Cut it off like right here. So that is another one that I could potentially get finished. So that's my Stitchy whips, either deer meeting or foggy forest. The last ones in my stitching are animals, and they're smalls. I have one picture to show you. So this is the one that I recently started. It is Basil Brush. There he is. So Basil Brush is going to go up against, this would be a new start, and it's by Plum Street Samplers, and it is Raccoon Rabble. I love these little, oops, sorry, that was my sock. Hang on. So this is actually a set. They have sets of these little pillows, and there's usually 2 animals on it, and they're all different kinds of animals. I'd kind of love to do the whole thing, but this is the first one that I'd like to start, Raccoon Rabble. So Raccoon Rabble is going to go against, I gotta hold it this way, sorry. So Raccoon Rabble is going to go against Basil Brush. So again, you're going to go to my Instagram on March 1st, and you will be able to start to choose what I'm going to work on this month. Now, most people that are doing the Stitchy Madness part of it, they're going to be stitching on each of those projects every day. I'm not going to do that because I'm not going to be starting my new whips until I find out what you guys want me to work on. So for my version, it's just you're going to do the vote and decide what 2 things, a knit and a stitchy project, I'm going to be working on, and then hopefully I will be able to fully finish one of each this month. So while you guys are voting, I'm going to be starting on my March socks, and hopefully get a good chunk of those done before I have to start on the whips for March Madness. So I hope you join me. I really love to get your input, and I think it's kind of a fun way to get some whips finished up that maybe I wouldn't originally want to work on. Give me a little nudge to get them finished. So this is a very short episode, but I just wanted to fill you in on what was happening. Come join me on Instagram, and you can help me vote and decide what I'm going to be working on this month. Thanks so much, and I will see you guys soon. Bye.